Hi, this is Jeff Lamb. Welcome to my podcast. It's called Losing My Mind. See, I've had this really interesting life so far. I've done things that I couldn't even dream of when I was a kid, dreaming of what my life might be. Well, I figured I'd better start putting some of these stories down somewhere before I really do lose my mind. These won't be in any particular order, and they're mostly for me, so I don't forget. But you're more than welcome to listen in. It was November 1967, and there were these two local DJs up in Flint, Michigan, who had written this piece. And what it was a letter to Santa Claus asking him to bring his big brother home for Christmas. His parents had gotten a letter. It made the parents very upset, and they said that Tommy wasn't coming home for Christmas. Anyway, it was obvious that he had been killed in Vietnam, obvious to everybody but the little boy who was writing the letter. But they needed a little boy to read it. They didn't have any little boys. So they brought a busload of boys over to the house, to Dad's studio, because he had a recording studio in the basement. And he also had 3 sons. So they auditioned all of these kids. None of them were really what they were looking for. Then they auditioned Dad's 3 sons. And they thought all of us read it very well, but I had the youngest voice. So it looked like maybe they were going to give this to me to do. And then Becky was really wanting to try this too. She wanted to be one of the kids. And she was crying, and Dad says, "Tell you what, Becky, as soon as everybody leaves, we'll sit down and you can try this." He knew he couldn't audition her in front of these guys because she was 5 years old and couldn't even read yet. And man, he was never truer to his word. They left, and Becky went down in the studio with Dad. And he coached her, and he walked her through it. He would say a line, and then she'd say the line. And he'd say a line, then she'd repeat it. And he'd say it, and she'd repeat it. And this went on for the whole length of this piece. Then Dad went in with a grease pencil, a razor blade, and an editing block, and some splicing tape, took all of his lines out, put all of her good lines in until it was finished. Well, this took a couple hours. He played it for these guys, and they said, "That's it. That's exactly what we need. We didn't think about a little girl, but she's perfect for this." So Becky became the voice of this project. Now they just had to sell it to somebody else. Well, they put the music behind it. They had Becky over the top of it reading it, and they played it for Jack Warner, one of the Warner brothers, over the phone. And he cried. He says, "I've got to have that out here." Well, they didn't have FedEx back then, so they bought it a seat on an airplane and literally flew the plane out to L.A., Somebody from Warner Brothers picked it up, took it back to the studio. They brought in the Warner Brothers Orchestra and the Anita Kerr singers to ooh and ah behind it. And this thing was on the store shelves in less than a week and on the radio in less than that. And you couldn't turn to a different radio station without hearing this record being played over and over and over. Bing Crosby recorded White Christmas in 1942. And it was the number 1 Christmas song in 1942, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, all the way up until December of 1967. It was the number 1 Christmas song for 26 years. The first song to ever knock Bing Crosby out of first place was my little sister's record called Little Becky's Christmas Wish.
Santa Claus, this is the very first time I've ever written to you. All my Christmases have been wonderful, and you gave me lots of nice toys. This year, Mommy says Christmas won't be the same because my big brother Tommy won't be here. Not too long ago, Tommy was home in a green suit with great big gold buttons. He looked like our mailman, Mr. Dewey. When Tommy was home, I tried his shiny shoes on. They were so big, Tommy laughed, and he said it takes a big man to fill those shoes. Santa, I wonder what he meant by that. I asked Tommy if he loved Mommy, Daddy, and me, and you know what he said? He said he loved us very much, and he loved his country, too. And That's why he was going away. Last week, Mr. Dewey brought Mommy a letter and made Mommy cry. I don't like Mr. Dewey anymore. When Daddy came home, he cried too. And I never saw my Daddy cry before. Santa, why were Mommy and Daddy crying? They took Tommy's records and things and put them in the attic. Santa, please don't you be mad at me. Mommy was when I played Tommy's favorite record yesterday. Tommy used to play one special record over and over and over. A man was talking and said, not what my country can do, what I can do, or something like that. I asked what that meant, but he said, it means a lot, but I'm too young to know. Tommy has a girlfriend. Her name is Kathy, but she doesn't come over anymore. I wonder why. Santa, I like nice toys and things, and you can bring me some if you want to. But please bring Tommy home for Christmas so Mommy and Daddy won't cry anymore.